Hey folks, welcome back to the Beer Wrench Garage, and today we got a little bit of a change of pace. We're going to be working on a Kia today. This is a family member's car, and the complaint is that he thinks he might have a tie rod end issue. He smacked a curb going about 20 miles an hour, and the steering is kind of off now. So we're going to take a look at it for him, very likely change out those tie rods, and see if we can see any other damage. This is a 2014 Kia Optima SX, and it's got the nifty, I think it's a 2-liter turbo motor. Come on along, we'll go ahead and take it for a quick spin to verify steering and see if we can find out anything additional, and then we'll put it up and start working on the tie rods, or take a look at the suspension, see if there's anything else that needs to be addressed. If you don't mind, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and stay till the end of the video, and if you like what you see, subscribe. All right, let's get into it. Something is definitely amiss. This thing is like pulling hard to the left. This is not a drivable car. I'm wondering if it's a fail. Ooh, yeah, this is crazy. I mean, look at that. I don't know if you can make out on this angle with the light, but the steering wheel is straight right here, but the passenger front wheel is canted inwards. So that's causing, if not all, some of our issues here. Hey folks, just a quick note here. I'm a big believer in safety and jack stands. In this instance, I'm going to pull the wheel off and then get a jack stand. Typically what I'll do is jack the car up in a situation like this, get it on a jack stand, and then pull the wheel off. But due to the lifting points and the angles of this car, it's just going to be easier for me to pull the wheel off first. But I am putting a jack stand, so just keep in mind that when you're doing this kind of work, don't start working on the car until you got it supported. And as you can see here, hopefully the shadow's not interfering, I also got both wheels chalked. All right, for those of you that are DIYers, these Kia lug nuts are 21 mils. I'm going to zip them off with the trusty Milwaukee, but if you're doing this again DIY, you want to do it with a socket and a breaker bar, just do it with the wheel on the ground before you lift it up, so you get that ability to break them loose. The other safety measure I always do is I'll roll the wheel under the car, or not roll it, but push it, just to keep it nice and an extra measure of safety. So if it falls, it's going to fall and be held up by that wheel and tire. We'll go ahead and use a decent jack stand here. And in this case, I'm just going to go under the subframe. I could also go under the control arm, but we're going to be trying to get this tie rod end loose, so I don't want a jack stand to interfere with that too much. Hopefully you can see I got the jack stand under this the subframe where the control arm goes into. And let's take a look and see if we see anything weird. The shock and the strut doesn't appear to be bent. The axle doesn't appear to be damaged per se, although it could be bent. So what our likely issue is this tie rod here, and that's what we're going to go ahead and replace. So there's this nut here, I'm not sure what it is, maybe a 22 or 21, and then this 14 millimeter nut here. So we'll break this guy loose first, then we'll pull the pin on this cotter pin, and then undo this, and then hammer it out. Again, as we're doing this, we're looking for any other signs of obvious damage. I can't see any. All right, folks, so this is actually a 24 mil nut. If you don't have a wrench that size, you can use a crescent wrench like this. I'm gonna try to use the regular wrench here, and we want to take this adjusting nut out first because with the tie rod being in the knuckle, it'll give us the leverage to break it loose. So in situations like this, we got this nice little Capri Tools wrench extender, and what'll happen is we'll set it up hopefully so that gives us some extra leverage to help us turn the wrench. So let's give that a try and see if it works. So leverage is always a winner. Anyway, so that got us going. Let me work that out a little bit, and then we'll go on the nut that holds it into the knuckle. All right, so what we're trying to get here is this guy. I've already sprayed it down. Spray it down a little bit more. We're gonna pop this cotter pin out, and then I believe that's a 14 millimeter that we're just gonna try to spin out. All right, interesting cotter pin. Again, 14. And then again, the best way, the easiest way to get this guy free is vibrations, good vibrations. And I think we got it. All right, so the last thing that we need to pay attention to is, well, as we take this off, we're going to want to put the new one on in about the same orientation. We want to put the new one on in the same orientation. So what we're going to count spins, right? Every time this tip of this stud comes up, we can call that one rotation. So it's 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14. We could call that 14 and a half, maybe 14 and a quarter. We'll just say 14 and a half. So that'll get us close. All right, folks, I put everything on just the reverse of the removal. Nothing really like earth shattering there. The aftermarket tie rod ends came with 17 millimeter nuts and new cotter pins, so we get put those on there. I don't see any obvious damage with the old one other than the ball joint is loose, so I don't know. We'll go ahead and put the wheels on. We'll spray them down a little bit real quick and put them back on and see if it makes any difference. So guys, that really helped the noise with a pair of new tie rod ends. It still needs an alignment. It's very much pulling to the left, so hopefully we'll get him aligned and that'll get him dialed in. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, you know what? What we'll do is we'll give you a quick update once he gets it aligned and see if that actually was the issue or not. Well, folks, she's back. So we misdiagnosed a bent control arm and went with the tie rod ends. She went to the alignment shop and the alignment tech said, nope, you got a bent control arm. So got control arms on the way, and we're going to put some fresh control arms in this girl and see if we can't get the shop to dial her in. So let's go ahead and tackle that. All right, quick update, guys. So UPS won't be here till later today with the control arms, but we can go ahead and take them off for now. Just a note, these Kia dust shields are pain in the butt to get off, and I am not removing them because I don't need to. But the control arm is connected in 3 places. You got this ball joint here. That's I think that's a 17mm bolt to the subframe, and then another bolt back here. Might not be able to see. It's a 19 to the other end of the subframe. So we'll take those off and pull this pull this control arm and get it ready for when the parts come in. Well, there you go. So pretty clearly we had a bent control arm, because here's your passenger side. I don't know if you can see with the shadow, but both control arms are flat on the ground right now. And then let's do it this angle. All right. Both control arms are flat on the ground, or supposed to be flat on the ground right now. And the driver's side looks nice and straight, but the passenger side, which was our problem, is kinked up. Again, I don't know if you can see it from this angle with the shadow, but in person you can definitely see, comparing them, that there's a bent on the driver's side, on the passenger side. So in my defense, when I looked at it on the car, it's very hard to tell, but off of it you can definitely tell. Okay, well, I spared you the watching me pull the control arms off both sides. Pretty straightforward. Got those out and replaced. We torqued the bolts with weight on the control arm to make it appropriate and proper. And like I think I showed you before, there's definitely a bent on the passenger side control arm. So again, I spared you all the details of watching me replace these things, but not a whole lot of drama. A little bit of issues, just because I gotta admit I couldn't take this fully take this plastic shield off. I set the work around it, and I don't want to break anything, so just left it on there. A couple of bolts were a little bit rusted, but a little bit heat and hammering got it out. Doing control arms on your back on jack stands is always a little bit of a challenge, but again, not a big deal. Whoever did the brake job on this car last, good job, did solid job. You could tell this was resurfaced, and a good brake job, so kudos to them. And then the last thing of note before we go get an alignment, or this car goes and gets an alignment, is got some caster camber bolts in, just to help the shop dial in the alignment. It's set up a little bit to negative camber right now. I'm sorry, these aren't caster camber, they're just camber bolts. It's set up for a negative camber right now, and then we'll let them dial it in. I can tell the alignment's a little bit off here anyway, just by looking at it, but let the shop mess with it. All right, folks, so here are the results of the alignment. So quick point here on the image. I'm sorry, you might not be able to see the specific numbers, but I'll talk you through it. So on top, you're seeing the front before the alignment. As you can see on that red on the bottom, like the bottom column, the toe is way off on both sides, and so that's the big thing we fixed, that we're able to fix on the alignment. As on the before and after, you could see that the camber is negative camber on both sides, which is good. You want about -1, -2 degrees of camber, and that's as a result of me putting the camber bolts on there. But the shop, I think it was a Kia dealer as well, they didn't mess with the camber bolts. I don't know if they knew how to do it or what. They're just used to regular Kia alignments. It doesn't look like they touched the camber bolts whatsoever, but like I said earlier in the video, I try to get negative camber in, and so we have pretty decent, acceptable negative camber. The key is they took the toe and they zeroed it out, basically, so the tires are pointing straight ahead to a great extent possible here. So that has gotten alignment to where we basically want it to be. So we're going to call this a job well done, or at least a job done to the point where the vehicle can be operated in a safe and effective manner. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that quick video, and hopefully it was informative. If you bang a curve, Don't always assume if you can't see the control arm is bent that it's not bent, because it can be bent and not be obvious. Maybe it is to other people, but to me, when I was looking at the control arm on the car, it didn't look bent. But once we pulled it off, you could clearly see the bent on the passenger side. Now, it was a really good car. I didn't have a chance to review it today and like talk about it, so we'll do that in a future video. There's a couple maintenance items we need to do. We'll talk about those later. But for today, we're talking about squaring away the suspension. Hope you learned something. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next video.